So he has Red Acre Farm on there, and it is because my sole source of income is a 2-acre vegetable farm. We live in Cedar City. My daughter started it when she was 14, and there's this book called Everything I Want to Do is Illegal by Joel Salatin, and I thought that was a really funny, clever book, and then we started to live the nightmare. So Red Acre Center came from Red Acre Farm because everything she was doing was illegal. You couldn't have a farm stand in Iron County. You couldn't sell raw milk. And it's a way longer story, but I just kind of thought we were done on a few levels because she had had 2 cease and desist orders after the governor had recognized her at an event. That came the week after. And I thought, well, I guess we'll try something else. And she said, no, we're going to change the laws. So that is the beginning of Red Acre Center, and we've been on the Hill since 2015. We passed our first bill, and he specifically asked us to talk about raw milk, which has a very interesting history. People think we're like raw milk fanatics, and yes, they do exist, and I support them and think it's awesome that it gets them pregnant and cures cancer and whatever else it does for them. But
superpowers.
Yeah. So can you guys buy chicken from somebody you know? Can you buy beef from somebody you know? Can you get eggs? Can you get vegetables? There is no way for you to buy dairy unless you are buying it from a raw milk producer because of the milk cartel. So raw milk represents something way more than raw milk. It is the only way that you will be able to get dairy when this whole system breaks or you don't want to be a part of it, because they must and have to sell to the Dairy Association, and it is very, very controlled. And every raw milk dairy on our major little street, you could call it, in Iron County, they're all out of business because you can't do both. So, and I tell people, you don't have to eat it raw. You can take it home and cook it. So even if you hate raw milk, you should keep these micro dairies in business because there will be no other dairies. They're going from 500 to 1,000 to the Idaho border now with 10,000 cows. And if you think 10,000 cows can produce safe milk, they have to cook it and homogenize it because you wouldn't even be able to drink it. So it's not just that I'm a raw milk fanatic, which I'm not. It has everything to do with preserving, being able to buy direct to consumer. So Utah has a long history. Did Redmond leave?
Yeah.
Oh, dang. That would have been a great conversation. So Redmond passed a bill. I'll try and keep time me. In 2007, they passed a bill, and there's different philosophies about why they passed it, but they were trying to move milk from the farm. It was illegal in the state of Utah. They had looked the other way to selling it from the farm, but they wanted to get it out where people could get to it. So this is my interpretation, is that they came up there and got their butt handed to them, which is very typical if you head up to the Capitol and don't know what you're doing. And I think that they came back and they made a deal with everybody. Some people think that it was very self-interested and that they had an agenda, blah, blah, blah. I actually think it's a little more nuanced than that. But they outlawed herd shares, and they said you couldn't sell pasture. And I guarantee you what happened was the Dairy Association, Department of Food and Agriculture, Farm Bureau, each one of them said, well, we'll let you if. And so you want it so bad, you're like, okay, I'll make that deal and I'll make that deal. So they outlawed herd shares, which meant that you and I couldn't own a cow and share the milk from it. It was illegal. Illegal. There are only 3 states in the whole entire union that have ever outlawed herd shares. They look the other way or they don't make them legal. But to actually say you can't own a condo and share it, or own a car, it's the same thing. You could divide a cow, you could divide the hide, but you could not share the white stuff that's streamed from it. Pretty crazy. So they outlawed that. They said if you take it to a store, you can't sell pasteurized milk. So how many places are going to take your raw milk because they couldn't have pasteurized milk on the shelves? And it's been so long I can't remember. They had one other thing in there. What? Oh yeah, the worst part. You fixed that. Then you had to own 51% of the store, which is why Redmond gets the bad rep, because they're Redmond. How many farmers can own 51% of a store? So that bill stuck until Sarah Patterson showed up in 2015, and the rest is history. We got rid of everything in that bill this year because these two ask for something really simple, and we started out with a really simple ask, and it got wild and crazy.
It was a one-line change.
Yeah. It was, well, we threw a couple other things in there. We didn't want you to ask for signatures. Yeah, that was it. We didn't want, because you have to give your information. We felt that was an invasion of privacy. There's no other food that you have to do that for. So we asked for that. We asked for what you guys wanted. I can't think what the third thing was. We had 3 asks. Take away the signature.
Wasn't the testing the other part of it?
Was the 51%?
No, we thought that was,
No, because
we never
our
thought we'd
option
get that.
eliminated the
So
21%.
this set, if you know, raise your hand if you know how the legislature works in Utah. Okay, so unlike, it's 45 days. It opens and it closes at midnight. It is insane, and that includes weekends and the 3-day weekend. So it's 45 days, and it really is like making sausage. So in that 45 days, everybody who always opposes us, because that first bill, Farm Bureau opposed us, Dairy Association opposed us, the Health Department, the Retailers Association opposed us, and we've made friends over 10 years. And what we came out with was absolutely amazing. We have the best raw milk bill. We have the best raw milk laws in the country now. So there's it's completely different than, this is like my dream bill someday. So now in the state of Utah, you can sell to any store. You do not have to own 51%. That was this year. You can have a third party or a designated agent move your milk. And we used to have a bill that we passed 120 gallons from the farm gate. That is now unlimited. So it was 120 gallons and now it's unlimited. You don't have, there are no requirements for structure. There's no infrastructure requirements. There's no testing. You're supposed to do it, but you're not dealing with the Department of Food and Agriculture. And then there's this 500 gallon exemption that's completely buyer beware. You can sell 500 gallons to anybody you want, and you don't have to buy it, but you can sell it. So that is, it's the most liberal, and every single one of those bills are raw milk products and raw milk, which is really exceptional. So Utah Natural Milk and Meat, that butter you have tonight, they have cranked out ice cream. I don't know how many products they've done since May 1st. That went into effect May 1st. So that is unhinged. They'll never get control of that again. They'll never be able to undo what happened. And it was all happy. It was unanimous by the time it got to the Senate committee. And
How positive the whole thing went.
well, you wouldn't be surprised if you were up at night during those 45 days working on it. So yeah, that's what we do. And if you have an issue or something, that is what we're here for. These guys are tremendous supporters. The center is everyone who works doesn't get paid. They're volunteered for the first time. We have paid admin. Our board is all volunteer. Sean is on our board, and it's membership driven. So if memberships and donations, because it gets more expensive every year. You have to do all kinds of things to develop these relationships. We do a day on the Hill, and we do a legislative dinner, and so anyway, that's what we do. Is that what you wanted to know?
That was
And
great.
yeah. And another plug, not just raw milk, but the eggs. If you can buy eggs at a small store, it's us. If they can sell to a chef, it was Red Acre Center. All the poultry exemptions, the micro enterprise kitchens, those are all us. That means you can have a kitchen that's licensed in your home. And probably the biggest bill we've ever passed, even better than the milk, is HB 181. It's homemade home food consumption. You can sell anything you want to somebody, unregulated, uninspected. So, yeah, I don't know, 20 bills, something like that. But yeah. So thanks for being here.